joelsfuneral here, coming at you guys with another Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile. I haven't uploaded in a while just because I've been pretty busy in life, but I just wanted to give you guys a new deck profile. I won my local OTS championship at Rivals Comics and Cards here in Mishawaka, Indiana. We had about roughly, I think 35 players, close to 40. So we had 6 rounds of Swiss, and then we had 3 rounds in Top Cut, and I went 8-1 playing branded Despia. To start out, I guess I'll do some shout outs. Shout out to my wife for allowing me to go to these events, and shout out to my sponsors, Team Savages, and shout out to Craig. Craig was one of the pivotal person I was talking to about my deck lists. He's helped me just kind of focus my mind about my deck list, because I before the event I was crashing out and I wasn't very confident in my list, and this event was kind of just gonna be play testing to figure out what I like and what I don't like, to decide what I want to play for the Indianapolis Regional coming up in March 21st. So yeah, it was insane. I didn't expect to win this event, considering my play testing is just Master Duel primarily, and these cards aren't out on there, and so yeah, I mean, I'm still a little shocked about winning. Yeah, I guess I'll go into the deck list and then I'll do some more shout outs at the end. So to begin with the list, we played 2 Gear 5 Albaz, 1 Albaz himself, mandatory 2-1. You can play 2 or 1, but preferably 2 and 1 because this is a starter and this isn't. Then 1 Shrouded counts as Albaz, gives you a draw. I think I did the draw effect a handful of times, but I did summon this once to tribute for Lubellion, and you'll see that on my list specifically. I played 2 Cartesia, 1 Quem, 1 Ecclesia. You can't play Albaz without his white girls. 2 Cartesia and 1 Quem, never needed second because I played specific engine card. And Ecclesia, you can opt to play 3. I prefer 1. Somebody in my testing circle was sent us a list to play 3. I didn't really want it to, just because that list consists of cutting bricks, quote unquote. But I think those cards are powerful engine cards, so I prefer to just play 1. Last, branded card. Branded is a Mercury, consistency card, negate needed. 3 Aliber for the Despia to search the branded spells or traps. I think I graveyard effect once the whole event. Please never forget that effect because it does matter. 3 Fallen and Virtuous. 3 Branded High Spirits. 3 Branded Opening. Just consistency cards here, and then a breaker. I prefer to play 3 in this list. I'm playing 45. I would like to open this card as much as possible. 2 Branded Fusion. And then for the bricks, 1 in red, white Retribution. I will say, I don't think I would have won the event without these 3 cards. I used the Retribution negate about 6 or 7 times. Haha, 6, 7. But it did matter. I used this effect a lot during my Radiant Typhoon matchup to negate Corsair, to negate the Phonics. Yeah, it's hard to say how good it is if in a Mystical Space Typhoon format. I almost never set it with Albion in that matchup specifically. I would always search it or hard draw it, so that way you can set it in that they have to play a 50-50 with it if you have additional spells and traps. In red, I didn't fusion summon as often as you think. I actually used it with Lost on the field, so that way my opponent couldn't bell when I added back the Gear 5 Albaz, so that way I can resolve the add back as much as I can and then combo with it in my hand. That's it for those. And like I said, I was playing these bricks. Lost, Lubellion, Saranir. I think these cards are very, very integral to the deck's identity. Having additional dragons do matter. Having the banished graveyard is really impactful in matchups like Dracota. Removing cards like Ecclesia. Yeah, I think I wouldn't have won this event without playing these 6 cards. These cards are what people consider bricks. I don't think so. I added so much. This helped build and establish so many resources to keep playing the game, because there was many times where I was out of the game and then I just had lost plus 1 card. Lubellion to get Sarnier with high spirits. There's just so many things you can do. Discard fodder, get your retribution in the graveyard. You get so many like cards out of these cards. It's hard to say. I haven't tested without them as much as I have like on like Master Duel events, and that's pretty much it. Remaining cards, 3 Nadir, consistent cards and ways to play through Fulos. Most oftentimes my Fulos out is just going like Branded Fusion for Sanctifier, give them 1 draw. Standby, give them like, standby, you give them the Fulos and you summon Quem for Cartesia, and that's about it. But with Nadir, if they go Fulos and you have this, you can give them 0 draws. Because you can just go send Albion, add White Albaz, summon White Albaz, dump Titaniklad, or whatever other fusion you want, and you opt to not summon the Ecclesia from deck, so that way they get 0 draws. This card came through a lot when I was like getting ashed, impermed, and then I had this on top, and it also fueled my Ecclesia effect in the graveyard. I just kept like cycling cards in the graveyard and removing because I just had so many fusions. For the non-engine, I played Quadby, Goldsark. I wanted to play the Goldsark for the consistency with the Mercury, so I did this out going second, and I'll talk about my second patterns as well because they're really weird. Interrupts, 3 Ash, 3 Fulos, 2 Perulium, 3 Impermanence. So Ash Blossom stop the Fulos on your turn. You know, it's just Ash Blossom. You can stop cards like Crocea, stuff like that. That's why I thought it was kind of mandatory to play the Ash Blossoms, especially in the format right now. If you play against like Branded Dracotail, just negating their Rahu, the Branded Fusion, so that way they don't have any overlap on top. As well as like Infinite Impermanence, I thought this card mattered more than Valor because of the Radiant Typhoon matchup where you can just stop their Crocea in the draw phase. This card is really impactful. This card can also stop Secretarian on your turn. So if they make a Secretarian on their turn and then it pass back, you can imperm Secretarian and then you're chilling. That's it for the main deck. 45. For the extra deck, played 2 Albion, 1 Lubellion, 1 Titaniklad, 1 Mirror Jade, 1 Devours. Some people are playing 2 right now with this included with the Nadir package. I just don't think it's gonna ever matter where you play 2. Throughout the whole event, I think I recycled this like about 4 times. Resolved the graveyard effect all 4 times. It just doesn't come up. Albalenidus to remove their dragons. It's an out for Secretarian. Rimbrum, I used it on field. So one thing I like to do specifically in the Radiant Typhoon matchup if I'm going first, I like to summon this using like using Mercury or an Albaz. So that way I can have this so I can negate the Rune effect in the extra deck when it's summoned from the extra monster zone and they attempt to go like add MST, you can negate and put it back in the extra deck. And so that way you effectively remove 3 bodies because they're wasting 2 bodies to make Varun and then adding the MST. And then you're just removing it so they don't have access for mandate. Sanctifier, this card's getting cut in most people's lists. I'm still playing it. I just think it's a good card. I'm not playing any locks or anything. I just summon it because it's untargetable shitter and it's good for resources. It's good for playing into Fulos. Last 6 extra deck cards. Obviously 2 Growing Window now. I think 2 has been like the best number to play. I don't think I will ever play 1 just because high spirits for spellcasters does matter. And with the inclusion of the new Ecclesia, you can just always like return it back to the extra deck. So that way you're playing, you're just constantly playing like a resource loop with this card because this does Grave and Banishment. So you're able to just return all your cards all at once. And since I'm playing 2, I'm also opting to play 2 different targets for it. So I'm playing both Lulu Wallet and Proskydian. Reasoning to playing both was because with Lulu Wallet, you can just get that free negate, which does matter. I really do like having the optional like non-targeting negate. Sure, it doesn't stop Secretarian, but the boost, it comes up on your turn where you can synchro summon using your fusions, or you can just drop it with the grain. It came up a lot during my matches all day. It does have an impactful graveyard effect as well to summon a light spellcaster that matches attack and defense. And then for Pristinian, on field effect to banish card, like banish extra monsters in the graveyard or summon them, and then it has the burn effect as well, so it's an additional kill. It's good into matchups that play like Fallen the Virtuous, or has like, I like something that's against like specifically like Canine. When I out their board, make a Mirror Jade, and then they go like Holy Sue or like Borger. I'll drop this on top of it, and then I steal like a Ripper that I used, or I summon this, and then I negate anything they summon with the K9. Because they'll often go like Azuna, dump Lupus, Lupus summon Chainlink 2 on a new chain, summon the Lulu Walith, the XYZ summon, and it's a Ripper. You just negate the Ripper now, or it's a dead body. So they have to go to cards like Nash Knight, and it goes like Chainlink 1, Lulu, Chainlink 2, Nash Knight, and now they've wasted like a Nash Knight there. I think that's impactful. As well as not forgetting like the graveyard effect. I think for Ecclesia as well, I use the graveyard effect of Ecclesia about every single duel. If I was going second, I would just send this for Fallen and Virtuous, or I would send it for the Gear 5 Alpaz, and that way I'm just constantly forcing cards out. Lastly, Star Source. Sim Star Source a lot yesterday. It's just a really good removal card. There's no real words. It's an out for like the Die-Fi. It's an insane card. I doubted it by playing other cards like Guardian Chimera, Borlord Fierce Dragon. Those are also good cards, but I think Star Source just does it better. Going into the side deck. So this side deck's gonna look really weird to about everybody else that isn't like in my testing circle. So we are playing 3 Delta, 1 Gamma, 1 Driver. These are all just really good universal going second cards. This card's out for Die-Fi because this deck does kind of lose to Die-Fi. Driver and Gamma, you have to play the Driver, but the Gamma is for the reason because it's just a good like hand trap. It's just really strong. You can also side this card going in first, which I did do. It's a good going first card. They Ash the Brain Infusion, or they try to like Mocharm you, Shifter you, 5 mana even if you don't have a monster in the field. It's just a good answer for like empty boards. Not only that, with it being a 2 and a 6, you can make the Ecclesia Synchro using it itself. If you get full Lost, you go here and then into this, and you get your engine going. As well, I played 2 Bell, 2 Droll. Originally in the format, beginning of the format for like YCS Richmond, I thought Bell was bait. It's okay. I just think it's a good additional hand trap. If you don't feel comfortable playing Bell, you can play Nibiru, but it does conflict with these. So at your own discretion, you can choose to play what you want for these 2 slots. Droll is just mandatory for cards for decks like Vanquish Soul. The third, Perulia. It's just so that way you have it in matchups for VSK9 or Radiant Typhoon. Last 5, 3 Droplet. So I did this card going second every single time. Going first, I think I might have cited it once. I just can't recall if I did. I don't think I ever did. Last 2 mandatory cards for going first, Dragon's Mind. I just couldn't find the space for the third one, and I don't think I wanted to play a third. I saw it like twice throughout the whole event. I don't think it mattered because most times when I went first, I just won through the matter of a grind game or my own interruptions to the deck, because the deck does play extremely well into certain hand traps and specific breakers as well. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for my deck. I played 45 cards and it worked out really well. Playing Lost Lubellion. I don't know how I did it. I was hungover and I was like post crash out, so it was just really nice to see. I performed well, especially with like a really rough start because I played against my nemesis at locals. I will say round 1 I played against Odeon K9. So I have all my matchups here. So for round 1, I played against Odeon K9. I won the die roll, and I 2-0'd my opponent. The funny thing about that matchup specifically is my opponent has been like consistently playing Odeon since release, and this guy has like about 13 matches up ahead of me, and I only have like 2 wins against him. So being able to win that match at the start of the tournament was like a really good like boost to my confidence, because that's just a hard matchup altogether. If you ever played the Odeon matchup playing branded, it's like 9 times out of 10 you're just losing that. Round 2, I played against branded Dracotel. I played against Jason Kalrick, and I won the roll. Got that 2-1, pretty difficult match. I summoned both Fruskinian and Lulu Walith on the same turn on his turn. Cartesia Diffuse it for Fruskinian, and then I used Gringwinoan to summon the Lulu, and it was impactful to negate Ecclesia to summon Alpaz. Round 3, I played against Christian Horace Demard. My boy Nick James, if you know him, he won Indianapolis with playing Christian, and then he got like 2nd place at Lansing playing Christian as well. He's the GOAT. I there's not much to say about that. That matchup was really tough. I got super polyed. I had triple hand trap. I just couldn't contest his board. That matchup is actually on MCole40's channel. It should be uploaded at some point. Same with the Odeon matchup. Round 4, I played against branded Dracota Magistus. I lost the roll. Game 1, he passed. In draw phase, he double Fulos me, and I just went Nadir for Albaz, didn't summon, and I just had 2 fusions, and he couldn't play. Game 2, he comboed me after I gammaed his Zorora, and pretty much I had Droplet, lost, and Branded Fusion to negate Sanctifier, Zorora negate, and a Flame. So he couldn't play through that, and I just killed him through the board. Round 5, played Branded Dracotel again. I'm trying to remember who my opponent was for that. Oh, there was one local. Yeah, so that was against Heater. He made top 8 as well because of tiebreakers. 2-1, lost roll. Game 1, lost. Game 2, I won with a crazy board. Game 3, we played Edison. We bricked back to back. It turned to like turn 4. I had Cartesia, almost summon Fulos, Synchro Summon. He lost. Round 6, I played against Radiant Typhoon. So that matchup is actually what people consider a really tough matchup. Luckily, with the release of Radiant Typhoon on Master Duel, that's been pretty much the only deck I've been playing. Previously, if you asked me during the YCS Richmond, I was unprepared. I didn't know what any of those cards did. And so I took it upon myself to learn what those cards did in Master Duel and actually play the deck. And that helped me like decipher how to interact with the deck, like ashing a starter or like imperming in specific, like very specific branded interactions to attack, like to deal with those cards. It was 2-1. I lost the roll. I got game 1 with Retribution. He went first, but like I had Ash Imperm, and I never let him like resolve Mandate negate because I had Fallen the Virtuous to like pop it after Chain Link 4. And then we cut to top 8, and funny enough, we actually got paired again in top 8. I lost roll, and so we played again, and once again 2-1. Same thing happened. I kept destroying Mandate. He bricked in game 2, and so I got that one. Game 3, he goes first. I ash the Vision. He just passed. I draw for turn. I pass. He draws for turn. Goes, I believe, Chant for Eldum or Swen. I can't remember. I impermed, and then he just started playing again. But I had enough to just like keep him off, and then just get to like a really crazy game state where he had advantage, and then I broke everything, removed everything, and got rid of cards in his graveyard using Devours, and just got to this game state where I just stole the game. And then in top 4, I ran it back with Nick, who was playing Chris Run, Horus Demon. Lost roll. He got game 1. I got game 2. Game 3, I had double Fulos, I think. It was either like Fulos or double Perulia or something along the lines, or domination, but I stole the game. Yeah, I don't remember much besides he Secretarianed me with Super Poly, and I used Ecclesia Graveyard to like just shuffle it back. It was a really rough match. I was surprised to win that. And then lastly, I played against BSK9 in the finals against a friend of the channel, Nicholas Ivan. Team Evo is his YouTube channel. He is a really good player. He's one of my friends up in Michigan, and we've been going back and forth about like this matchup specifically, and he finally got to see it come in fruition. And I ended up losing a roll. He goes first. He combos me after uninterrupted. He had like Ripper. I can't remember like the full extent of the board, but like he had Ripper, Rock, and like a VS name on the board, like Borger, I think. And I pretty much interacted entirely throughout the whole like game 1 without activating graveyard or hand effects, so that way his Izuna wasn't like activatable. I had established Mirror Jade, Proskinian, Lost, Lubellion, and like 4 cards in graveyard, 3 cards in hand, without activating any hand or graveyard effects. And it put him in a position where he couldn't Izuna or anything, and I had to force the battle phase for him to like Caesar pop stuff. Very, very impactful match where you have to put like branded opening in your graveyard to protect your board. It had ended up going to like a 25-minute match where we just like kept going back and forth, having turns. I wish this was like a live stream match for everybody to see, because at one point I had 4 cards in my extra deck, and I had turned it into, I had shuffled 5 fusions, 2 dragons back in my deck for an Albalenidus that can attack 7 times, and then I went like Ecclesia Graveyard effect to shuffle back my fusions back in grave, back from banishment, just to keep grinding the game. And it got to the point where he was at 1,800 life points, and I was at 8k, because he just couldn't do anything for like 6 turns. Like he had meaningful interactions, but he just couldn't answer the board at all. It was really strange that he had to like Zeus me to clear my board after crashing, and it was like really odd, but it was a very heads up play. It put me in a position where I had to find all these unique ways to like recur all my resources. And then we ended up going to game 2. Not much to say. That was the only game I drew driver, and I had to play into a board. I made Grang with the driver and stuff like that. It didn't matter. Game 3, I had like Branded Fusion Nadir, Fallen White. It was just insane. And he drew like Borger, Mag, Caesar, Shifter for turn, and like nothing else on that. And that was about it. I wish I could have seen like a crazy game 3, but yeah, I had a crazy event, 8-1 playing Branded Despia. I think I wouldn't change a card in my list specifically, because every single card came up. Every single card didn't matter. All the resource loops, all the graveyard effects, all the searches, everything mattered. I used white, I used red. None of these cards are cuttable in my list specifically, because this list is specifically tailored to my playstyle. And I think that's like the biggest thing about Branded Despia, is being able to find a list that plays with your playstyle. This list is very like mid-range, very resource intensive, and very like thinking 5 to 6 steps ahead of your opponent. That way you know when to interact, how to use your cards. And that's like the best thing about Branded. That's pretty much it for my deck list and my tournament report. And I just want to say my last shout outs once again. Shout out to my playtesting group, Los Papitos. Shout out to the Monkey Chat. Shout out to Team Savages. Shout out to Salt. Shout out to Lil Fat Tony. Shout out to Craig. Shout out to Touchgrass, Fierce Pass, Discord server. Just huge shout out to all the boys who supported me Everybody roasting me for just constantly playing branded. Yeah, that's it. Thank you guys.